Welcome, everybody, to another rendition of DeleteLawZ. What's going on out there in the land of the unfree America? How is everybody doing tonight? It is Friday night. I would say TGIF, but we have goals to accomplish. We have things to do. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Can everybody here do me a favor and just hit the like button, if you would, please? Hit the like button. If you would, pretty please, with cherries and sugars on top. Chevy! What's going on, Chevy? Miss Constitutional Rights. Roy is in the room, everybody. I think I saw Chris Alderson in here. April Rain is in the room. What is going on? Roy's already given away memberships. Mikey B is here. What is going on? So today's broadcast is a little bit special. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you having me. Thank you for being here. My name is ChilleDeCastro. I am an autodidactic constitutional law scholar. In the year 2002, the current chief of police, Michael Moore of LAPD, no-knock raided my home twice in the same month. That process of being no-knock raided forced me to begin to study constitutional law and exactly how and why the police should be allowed to no-knock raid my home when I have no criminal history. I have no criminal history of violence. I have no 911 calls of violence. I've never been a chemical dealer of any kind ever. Never even been accused of it. But they no-knock raided me based on a confidential informant's tip. The truth is, I was dating somebody's ex, and he couldn't beat me up. And so he called the police, told them I was a chemical dealer, and they no-knock raided my home. That's the facts. So welcome to DeleteLawZ, everybody. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you for coming. I super appreciate it. I'm going to show you a video right now of a cop who gets himself shot. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop some things. I'm not going to be able to show you every bit of this. And you know why? Because YouTube United States government, I've changed it. In my last broadcast, I called them YouTube China. But let's be honest, what we're actually dealing with is YouTube United States government. That's what we're dealing with. And so I think I'm going to show you the actual version, and I'm just going to have to hope and pray that maybe, just maybe, YouTube United States government doesn't completely censor and demonetize my video. Tonight's special is going to be, if you buy a trifold tonight, they're $25 on my website, DeleteLawZ.com. I'm going to give you, the purchaser of the trifold, a free set of cop cards. And by the way, some of you guys will be getting the new edition of the cop cards. And I'm going to give somebody in the crowd a free trifold as well. So somebody in the crowd, if you don't have $25 right now, somebody here is going to buy a trifold, and I'm going to give you one for free, a hard copy trifold that I ship in the mail for you, including this fancy broccoli wad rubber band that goes with it. So everything goes on your visor. That's right. Tonight is that night. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes on weekends. Buy one, get one free, but your free one doesn't go to you. It goes to someone in this crowd, someone who doesn't have $25 but needs a trifold in their car. And because you purchased it, I'm going to give you a free cop card with your trifold, and I'm going to give someone else a free trifold as well. So make sure you guys let me know who in the crowd needs it. And I got another 10 memberships gifted from Kinetic Customs and Racing. All right, let's get into this video. You're not ready for what you're about to see. You're not ready for this. You're not ready. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you the beginning of this, the breakdown by the JBTP, Jackboot Thug Pigs. Put in the comment section, JBTP. Over 650 people in the room right now. Thank you for coming. Everybody hit the like button right now. And if you would, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. 2/3 of you watching this are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the channel. You're not ready for what I'm about to show you. This is absolutely horrendous. Thank you guys so much. Get your cop cards, your trifolds on DeleteLawZ.com. JBTP is running through the chat. I'm going to get right into this video. You guys, please hold on to your hats. You're not ready for what you're about to see.
On April 28th, 2023.
Let me know if you purchased a trifold, and then I'm going to pick somebody out of the crowd who doesn't have the money, and I'm going to give them a trifold for free too.
Approximately 12:34 p.m., Sergeant Mascoro was involved in a critical incident which culminated in an officer-involved shooting and resulted in the death of Buck Larimore and critical injuries to Sergeant Mascoro. The intent of this critical incident brief is to provide transparency to the public, an accurate representation of the events that took place, and to provide context for the incident.
Sergeant Mascaro should be in prison.
All footage shown is that of Sergeant Mascoro's body-worn camera. For investigatory purposes and to provide privacy for some individuals contained within the video, small portions have been redacted and their identities concealed. Sergeant Mike Mascoro is a 24-year U.S. Air Force veteran with 8 years at the...
Okay, now skip the BS. Don't let them say he was a 24 U.S. Air Force. If he was in the Air Force for 24 years, then he should have known you have to have a warrant to enter into someone's house. This guy right here, just so you know, when I saw the video, I heard myself say out loud, I hope that pig died.
Thermopolis Police Department. Additionally, he has served as a sergeant.
Oh, ramp up his qualifications. Ramp him up. That man right there is a jackboot thug pig. When I saw the video, I swear to you, I heard myself say out loud, I hope he died and I hope he's burning in hell. This man is a total pig. Don't celebrate this man. He's a tyrant, an absolute and total tyrant. Do not celebrate this man.
For the last 2 years. Thermopolis Police Department, along with the Hot Springs County Health Department, had been conducting an investigation based on complaints of methamphetamine use and distribution out of McDonald's by employees.
So they're investigating McDonald's employees who are doing METH. You're saving the world over there, Thermopolis Police. Good thing you're getting those McDonald's employees.
On April 28, 2023, at approximately 9 a.m., Sergeant Mascoro, along with health inspectors and a Hot Springs County Sheriff's Office deputy, responded to the McDonald's as part of this investigation. While there, Sergeant Mascoro encountered Buck Larimore, who provided Sergeant Mascoro with incorrect information.
Rest in peace, Buck Larimore. You truly stood up for your constitutional rights that your home is your castle. I'm sorry this jackboot thug pig murdered you.
Information pertaining to his identity. Additionally,
so read that again. While Sergeant Mascaro encountered Buck Larimore, who provided Sergeant Mascaro with incorrect information about his identity. That's why Mascaro is going to do what he does.
Sergeant Mascoro and the Hot Springs County deputy discovered methamphetamine concealed in the baby changing table in the bathroom immediately after observing Mr. Larimore enter and exit the bathroom in a short amount of time.
Oh, it's a good thing you're getting those McDonald's employees. They went in and out of the bathroom and they're doing METH. Boy, thank God for this. You know what? Scratch this. Got to end the broadcast. Sorry. Time to celebrate Mascaro. You were getting McDonald's employees. Man, you were going right to the top of the kingpins, huh? We as taxpayers, we want to fund that. We can't wait to fund you going after McDonald's employees who are doing METH. Listen to what they're investigating. Listen to why Buck is dead. I salute you, Buck. I may not agree with shooting police, but he had every right to defend his castle. Don't you let them fall to violence. Don't you fall into their violent trap. They're trying to infiltrate me now. There's FBI and CIA agents contacting me now, offering me all kinds of things. I'm not stupid. I can see you. I know who you are. Ready for the investigation into the McDonald's employees? Check this out. This is so unbelievable. Stick around. I have a big announcement as soon as this video is over.
Dude, that's right there behind this big guy.
After observing Mr. Larimore enter and exit the restroom rapidly after his arrival, Sergeant Mascoro discusses his observations with the Hot Springs County Sheriff's deputy.
Squatted down. Jamie told me that he took off over here. And I came around. He was coming out of the bathroom. So. Yeah.
Inside that compartment, there's like little plastic cups.
Okay.
Something inside of them.
Boy, they're catching the McDonald's guys doing the METH. Thank God for the police, huh? Thank God for these coppers saving us all.
Sergeant Mascoro conducted a search of the men's restroom. A canine alerted to drug presence at the baby changing station. Upon an in-depth search, Sergeant Mascaro recovered a plastic container with methamphetamine.
Oh man, they got him. Everybody can go home now. Everybody can go home now. It's all better now. Now that they've caught now that they've caught Buck with the METH, now that they've caught him, the world's going to be safer now. You better get Buck. You better ruin Buck. Make sure you home invade him if he's not going to come outside.
First name Buck.
Yeah, Buck.
Last name
Larimore.
So that's his last name, Buck Larimore. He told him his real name. He works at McDonald's. They have employee records. You can track this man down. It's not like he's going to get away.
Sergeant Mascaro spoke with Mr. Larimore, having reasonable suspicion Mr. Larimore had been in possession of methamphetamine. Sergeant Mascaro compelled Mr. Larimore's identification. Mr. Larimore misspelled his last name and provided an inaccurate date of birth. Sergeant Mascaro also offered Mr. Larimore an opportunity.
They misspelled his name. They have his employer. They know where his check is sent. You don't need to raid this guy. You got him.
To submit to a drug screen in order to exonerate him as a suspect. Mr. Larimore declined.
They asked him to take a drug screen to clear him as a suspect of doing chemicals in a bathroom at McDonald's. And this is why people need to die? Are you sure?
Larimore.
Lore.
And what's your date of birth?
12/17/88.
What's your address?
I prefer not to get that here.
Sergeant Mascaro left the scene and later discovered Mr. Larimore had intentionally provided incorrect identifying information.
Oh, how did he leave the scene? He left early. McDonald's has his address, his phone number, his social security number, his date of birth. They got him.
Sergeant Mascaro also learned Mr. Larimore had left his work shift early without telling anyone.
All right, so here's the first giveaway right here. Jason J needs a trifold. Who in the crowd right now is going to go to DeleteLawZ.com and buy a trifold? And when you do that, I'm going to give you a free set of Fifth Amendment cop cards with it. The new cop cards come out on Monday, so you're probably going to get a new set. And I'm going to send Jason. Jason, go to my website, DeleteLawZ.com, go to contact, put your name, Jason J, on the subject line, your full mailing address. Perfectly. Exactly. Name, city, address, zip code, the whole, put it perfect. So I can copy and paste it. Jason, I'm giving you a free trifold. Somebody in here will buy one. You got it, Jason. I got your back, brother.
Sergeant Mascaro contacted the Hot Springs County Attorney's Office and provided the details of the investigation.
The details of the investigation of catching a McDonald's worker with METH.
The county attorney agreed Sergeant Mascaro had probable cause to...
They agreed that. So there's the magic words. Once the cops agree that they have probable cause, you can die, mother. You can die.
...their cite or arrest Mr. Larimore. Sergeant Mascaro arrived...
Look at the trailer house. Get to the trailer, boys, quick. He's got the METH. Get to the trailer, quick. We got him, boys. Round him up. Look at the trailer house they're going to. It's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get, this goes real bad here. You're not ready for what you're about to see.
...arrived at Mr. Larimore's residence to take him into custody. Sergeant Mascaro was the only officer on duty and was not able to secure an additional backup officer. Mr. Larimore eventually came to the door, and Sergeant Mascaro informed him of the charges and advised him he was under arrest. Mr. Larimore refused to exit the residence and argued with Sergeant Mascaro about the charges. Mr. Larimore finally shut the door on Sergeant Mascaro. Believing Mr. Larimore would flee out the back and with no officers on scene to prevent Mr. Larimore's escape, Sergeant Mascaro forced entry into the residence.
Let's talk about this just for 1 second real quick here, okay? They're afraid that Larimore is going to escape out the back door and go where? From his trailer house. No offense. I lived in a trailer as a kid. I come straight from the trailer park myself, okay? Where's he going to escape to? Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Is he getting on a plane to Vietnam? Is he avoiding extradition? Is that what we're seeing here? No, he lives in a trailer park. He works at McDonald's. He smokes METH or does METH in the bathroom. That's the person that we're hunting down right now. That's what you're seeing on camera.
Very good. Can I talk to you, please? All right, you're going to jail today. Come on out here.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail. I have.
What?
If you make me break this door down, I will.
For what, sir?
Because you interfered with me.
How'd I interfere?
Come outside. It's going to go two ways.
Okay.
You either come out, or I'm going to break the door in.
Tell me how I interfered with you.
I hate to tell you, Copper, but there's more than two choices here, and Americans are sick of being home invaded.
You want me to work with you? Work with me. What
I'm going to
did I
break
do?
the door down.
What did I do?
You interfered. You gave me the wrong name, wrong date of birth.
Buck Laramore,
Come out.
12/17 of 89, sir.
Buck, I'm going to break this and come in after you.
Upon entering, Sergeant Mascaro was met with Mr. Laramore in the hallway pointing a .45 caliber pistol at him. Mr. Laramore fired, hitting Sergeant Mascaro in the right arm and right chest, knocking him to the ground. Mr. Laramore approached, firing once more in an attempt to execute Sergeant Mascaro.
Welcome to another demonetized live stream right here on DeleteLawZ. I just can't hide the truth. So YouTube, United States government, you're just going to have to demonetize my video again because I'm not going to hide the truth from the people. We have a right to watch what's about to happen. If you take a look, Buck Laramore now has his .45 caliber pistol trained at the door for after the cop has raided his home. And what do you think Buck's going to do? What do you think he's going to do right here?
Sergeant Mascaro returned fire with 7 shots from the floor, forcing Mr. Laramore to retreat backwards into the bedroom.
Hey, stop! Stop!
That was that piece of shit Mascaramo firing back 7 times. I swear to God, I didn't mean to, but when I saw this, I said, I hope he dies. I didn't mean to think that way. I asked God to forgive me for feeling that way. But at the same time, he raided this man's home who lives in a trailer park and works at McDonald's. He's not solving anything. He's the tyrannical jackboot thug pig in our society.
They're up. Two. Shots fired.
You didn't finish the job, Buck. You're in trouble. We're going to watch the unedited version in a
Sergeant
second.
Mascaro was able
So
to...
you see all this crosstalk right here? I have the real version. I've got the full version. I'm going to show you the uninterrupted full version without the pig explaining as we go. But let's put it in perspective because the pigs are explaining it one way. Let me explain it the way a free American sees it. They went and they found a crime that was created by the war on drugs by Dick Nixon, who said he wanted to lock up hippies and blacks, and they couldn't arrest people for being black or being a hippie or being anti-war. So instead, they criminalized chemicals so they could demonize them on the 6 o'clock news every night. That's exactly what happened. We're living in Richard Nixon's America. This isn't Trump's America. It's not Biden's America. This is Richard Nixon's America. And we're still doing the exact same thing. Buck Laramore is dead today because of Richard Nixon, not because of Trump, not because of Biden. You vote who you want for. I'm going to vote for Kennedy, a third choice, something different.
to retreat to the kitchen. At this point, Mr. Laramore reemerged from the bedroom. Sergeant Mascaro fired once, striking Mr. Laramore. 2 additional shots were fired, and Mr. Laramore dropped to the ground. Mr. Laramore is heard saying, "Stop, stop," and then stops moving. Sergeant Mascaro used no additional force after that point.
See, Buck didn't hide. Buck is standing right there. If you're going to go, Buck, unfortunately, you got to go all the way. Buck is standing right there. He didn't go take cover.
Shots fired.
Sergeant Mascaro was able to fire once, striking, "Stop, stop," and then stops moving. Sergeant Mascaro used no additional force after that point.
Dirty jackboot thug pig killed a man who lives in a trailer park and works at McDonald's. What have we come to?
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Take a look at that. Is it worth it? You think it's worth it? Do you think we should have cops doing this, going to McDonald's? He's not cutting the source off. He's not getting the shipment coming in from Mexico or from the Canadian border. He's taking on a guy who lives in a trailer park What are we doing here? This is despotism. This is tyranny. That jackboot thug pig got what he deserved. I'm only sorry that God couldn't judge him instead of just me. I'm not God. I need to be forgiven for what I've done, for my feelings, for my sins. Let God judge Mascaro when he sits up, when he dies. And that's honestly what I hoped had happened, because I don't respect this at all. Look at that. Take a look. Take a look. Watch Mascaro bleed. Look at that. Disgusting. Over what? A McDonald's employee who's smoking METH. What a joke. What a pathetic joke. What a pathetic joke. Do not go to violence, my friends. Do not go to violence.
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what is he doing? He has no respect for you, no respect for the law, no respect for anybody but himself. You got what you deserve, Mascaro. Let God judge you. Oh, yeah. You ripped the guy's door open.
Sergeant Mascaro collapsed after assessing Mr. Larimore to no longer be armed or a threat. Sergeant Mascaro sustained life-threatening injuries from a bullet wound to his right arm and right chest.
Let's watch it without the cops blaming. This is
You're
the
going
raw.
to jail today. Come on.
This is the raw scene right here, uninterrupted. I won't talk too much. Watch this from beginning to end. Watch this all the way from the beginning until the end. I'm not going to interrupt it. It's only 4 minutes and 23 seconds. You're honestly not ready. You're not ready. Remember tonight's special. Someone in the crowd, let me know if you need one for free. Anybody who buys a trifold from me, I'm going to give you your trifold plus a cop card. And I'm also going to give somebody in the crowd a free trifold in your name. I appreciate it. I'm not going to interrupt this. I'm just going to shut the front door over here. You guys can just watch this and judge this for yourself. Mascaro, in my opinion, is a demon. You went to a guy's house who works at McDonald's and lives in a trailer park.
Come on out here.
No, I'm not.
Pretty good. Can I talk to you, please?
Yeah, we're talking right now. What's up?
Come on. Okay. All right, you're going to jail today. Come on out here.
No, I'm not.
You're going to jail.
For what?
If you make me break this door down, I will.
For what, sir?
Because you interfered with me.
How'd I interfere?
Come
with you?
outside. It's going to go two ways.
Okay.
You either come out or I'm going to break the door in.
Tell me how I interfered with you. If you want me to work with you, work with me. What
I'm going
did
to
I
break
do?
the door down.
What did I do?
You interfered. You gave me the wrong name, wrong date of birth.
Buck Larimore,
Come out.
12/17 of 89, sir.
Buck, I'm going to break this and come in after you. Hey, stop! Throw up, two. Shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Move.
It's horrific. This is disgusting.
What are you doing?
Tell me what you think. I'm going to put your thoughts up on the screen. Let me know what you think. Everybody, write your comments in the. I'm gonna start to display some comments here. I want to see what other people think here. To me, Buck should have finished the job. To me, If he's going to do it, go all the way. But don't you do it. Don't you go to violence. We're going to beat them when I'm governor. I'm going to change the policies from the top down. Don't you go to violence. I don't want to lose you if you're on, who's a member of Team DLZ? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a trifold or a cop card in your car or in your wallet. Put a 1 in the chat. I don't want to lose you to violence. The cops will kill you. And then you're gone. Don't go to violence. Don't let them break our group apart. We're the strongest group on all of YouTube. We help so many people. Don't you let them break us apart by you going to violence. Don't do it. Don't do what Buck did. Don't do meth in the bathroom of McDonald's and live in a trailer park. And for you jackboot thug pigs, don't go after people who live in trailer parks and work at McDonald's. Fair? Is that fair? You got what you deserve, pig.
Shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. I need help. I'm down. I've been shot. Help.
You know, I feel I hate seeing this. I hate seeing this pig bleed out and almost die. I hate seeing it. I don't want pigs to be killed. I want pigs to find God and realize they've joined the Death Star of evil. And you can't be good when you join Death Stars. I don't want to see this happen to any cop. I don't want to see this happen to you. I implore you again, please do not go to violence. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of violence. If you fall to violence, you die and you're no longer on the team, and we need you. We need you on the team.
Over there, right there. Officer's right there. I don't know where. I don't know where the other guy went. No,
Those pigs in the house. Those pigs
Mike, are you
is in the house. No, I'm shot. I'm shot. Help. Help. Help.
I'm coming. Where you shot?
Yeah,
Where you shot?
I don't know where. Pretty good. Can I talk to you, please?
Another announcement I have, Heller Gun Dude is up. HellerGunDude.com is up. You can now purchase your miniatures. I'm going to bring on Dick Heller in a minute. Dick Heller himself is going to come on the stream. Dick Heller is an ex-cop, worked at the Supreme Court building, escorting Supreme Court justices back and forth through the Annex building. I just want to show you one more thing before I bring on Dick here. Before I bring on Dick here. That's funny. Here's the write-up here. Take a look at the headline. Mascaro cleared in fatal shooting, but is found to have illegally broken into home. Hold on a second. I'm a little bit confused by the headline. Either he broke the law and didn't have a warrant, or he did. How could you be cleared of killing somebody when you illegally broke into their home? Nobody dies if you don't break into somebody's house. And so let's take a look at this, and then I'm going to bring on Dick Heller, and we're going to talk to him for a second. In his analysis, the cops investigated themselves, and conclusions issued September 21st, Special Prosecutor Cop Sucker Daniel Iramalpour, whatever his name is, Sweetwater County attorney found that Thermopolis police pig Mike Mascaro illegally broke into a suspect's home in April, causing a fatal shooting. So there it is. I guess he did do something wrong. However, a provision for law officers in Wyoming, self-defense law, will prevent any criminal charges from being filed. The sergeant could still face civil consequences. But yet, if you or I home invade someone and then people die, you get charged with murder. Put a 1 in the chat if that's an absolute fact. If you went into someone's house and then you killed somebody, would you not be charged with murder? They said he illegally broke into somebody's home. Look, there it is. There it is right there. Mascaro cleared in fatal shooting, but illegally broke in. It's an oxymoron. It's like jumbo shrimp. It doesn't make any sense. Earlier this year, the Iramauspe appointed a special prosecutor to protect the pigs to review the case. Iramauspe relied on the investigation conducted by the lead investigator. So the cops investigated themselves, then they gave it to a special prosecutor who clears cops. Notice how it's a special prosecutor, special agent. Keel Holder of the Wyoming Division of Criminal Investigations reviewed all documents, reports, and forensics autos and files submitted in the matter of the shooting and the death of Buck Laramore. Oh, so the cops investigated themselves. The analysis found that Mascaro was justified in the shooting, but he found he entered the man's home illegally. Which is it? You can't say that he illegally went to the guy's house, but then he's justified in killing him once he breaks in. It's preposterous. Mascaro forced his way into the home. A McDonald's employee, Laramore, shot Mascaro with a .45, and he returned fire and killed him. This was a completely avoidable incident. So then he broke into the guy's house and caused a murder, wrote Iramauspe. Mascaro felt that breaking into a person's domicile was the best course of action for the misdemeanor of interference with a peace officer. Iramauspe's job was to determine if Mascaro justified to return fire under Wyoming's. Okay. However you pigs need to slice it to make you the good guy. However you pigs need to slice it up so that you're good and you're right. This is absolute and total bunk. This is a load of poop. This is crap. 1. All you pigs watching, all you bootlicking suckers, read it. Most of us can't stand this. You are horrible. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Mascaro should have been charged with murder. Put a 1 in the chat if Mascaro should have been charged with murder. How many people feel that way? Let me put a 1 for me over here real quick. Let me get a 1 in there. There's a 1 for me. 1. Any other ones? 1. So his job was to determine if Mascaro was justified to return fire after he illegally broke into the house. It was not his job to determine potential. It's not civil liability when you murder someone. It's criminal. Despite his poor judgment that day, when it came down to the shot that killed Laramore, Mascaro acted as a reasonable person would defending his own life. God. Iramauspe's decision gives a detailed account of the events in the case. He begins by stating the facts of the case as gathered from all sources of evidence. The document states, officers with the Thermopolis Police Department contacted Hot Springs County Health Inspector and advised that meth was being consumed inside McDonald's. Ooh, like in every other McDonald's in America. The health inspector met with Sergeant Mascaro at McDonald's on April 28th. Also present was Hot Springs County pig Shania Cox with her canine. So she's a real sadistic pig. During the inspection, Deputy Cox deployed her canine in the men's bathroom where the canine indicated possible controlled substances. Mascaro observed the last person to exit the men's bathroom. He later identified as Buck. Mascaro spoke with Laramore after the suspected chemicals were found. In speaking with Mascaro, Laramore spelled his last name Larimore, and his date of birth is 1988. Man, instead of 89 and instead of Lara, instead of that, that's the reason why you had to go to his house and break in? What is this world coming to? What the hell are we even talking about here? So ridiculously stupid. Sometimes during the McDonald's shift, Laramore left without manager approval. You got to ask to leave work now. and was seen driving from the parking lot. Sometime after Larimore left, Mascaro determined that Larimore spelled his name wrong. Oh, man, get him. And his year of birth was a year off. Over an hour and a half after Mascaro interviewed Larimore, Mascaro is heard on body camera recording explaining that he will be arresting Larimore after he checks with the county attorney to make sure that he, Mascaro, was within legal authority to ask Larimore for his information. Hot Springs Deputy County Attorney Kelly Owens, another pig sucker, did confirm that while he was in his legal authority and questioning Larimore, Mascaro advised Owens that he was not to arrest Larimore, with Owens stating that if she were Larimore, she would have avoided arrest by not even answering the door, and suggested that Mascaro should issue a citation. But yet it's okay that Mascaro went there and murdered him. It's okay. This is despotism. I mean, what is this double talk BS? This is unbelievable what you're seeing here. And you're seeing it on camera. At approximately 12:30 noon, 3.5 hours after initially speaking with Larimore, Mascaro arrived at the trailer park. The front storm door was shut and the inner door was as well. Mascaro knocked on the door and Larimore's wife answered the door. What have I taught you time and time and time again? You do not answer the door. When the cops beat on the door and say, "Is anybody home?" you shut the front door, sit down, and shut the front door. Not another word. Nothing. You don't say a word. Nothing. You lay down, shut up, put a blanket over you. Don't move. They might be looking through the windows. If they don't know you're there and they have no warrant, they can't come in. They cannot come in. You heard a cop break it down the other day. They can't come in unless they're sure you're there and you have a residency there. They can't come in. Why would you open the door? Why would you answer any words? Why would you say a word? Shut your freaking mouth. Unless you want to end up like Larimore. And for the love of God, don't you go to violence. Don't you go to violence. Don't you make this team sad when I have to say that Whole Foods, passed on today because he went to violence. I'm not going to say a username. I'm not going to say anything like that. If your username is Whole Foods, I don't want you going to violence. Don't let them break our team apart by you going to violence. They'll say, "Oh, that was a member of Team DLZ. He's the one that showed the cops getting died and said, 'I hope they burn in hell.'" I do. I'm not God. I can't forgive them for being evil. That doesn't mean I want you to go to violence. Please do not go to violence. The front screen door is slammed. Larimore's wife answered. Mascaro asked to speak to Buck, and eventually Buck Larimore comes to the door, keeping in the storm door and the inner door partially closed. Mascaro told Larimore to step outside, and Larimore responded, "No, sir." Mascaro then tells Larimore that he's going to jail after the district attorney said, "Just give him a citation." Larimore asked why he was going to jail. Mascaro responded by saying that he was going to jail and he would break the door down if he had to. Larimore once again said why he was going to jail. Mascaro responded that he interfered. While still inside, Larimore asked how he interfered. Mascaro responded that the situation can go one of two ways. I guess not. I guess you're in critical condition in the hospital. Either Larimore comes out willingly or Mascaro is going to break the door down. Larimore once again asked how he interfered. Mascaro responded by saying Larimore, he gave him the wrong name, and Buck Larimore 12/17/89 while shutting the door. Iramause then presents his analysis of the case. He breaks it down to the legal factual issues. While there was probable cause for the violation of interference with a police officer, is person guilty of interference with a police officer if he knowingly obstructs, impedes, interferes, or resists arrest. Mascaro was in the restaurant as a civil standby while the public health officers inspected. Mascaro wasn't even investigating the case. He was just a jackboot thug pig. While on standby, the canine sadistic demon cop hit the bathroom, and the subsequent search revealed suspected meth hidden in a baby changing station. Recognizing that Larimore was the last to frequent the bathroom, and prior to the canine sniff, Mascaro, in the lawful performance of his duties, there's the state-run media, could question him. During the questioning of Mascaro, Larimore misspelled his last name and provided the wrong date of birth by 1 year. Although it's questionable to whether the conviction for interference with a police officer could be obtained, there was probable cause for the violation of the said statute. Larimore did not violate any law in refusing to submit to a breath test or refusing to provide his address. While Mascaro was allowed to arrest Larimore pursuant to Wyoming statute code states the police officer make a warrantless arrest on the individual if any. Now, this is just all cop-splaining how he's justified any criminal offense is being committed. The officer has probable cause to believe a felony. The officer has probable cause to believe a misdemeanor will not be apprehended, may cause injury to himself and damage to properties of others. The state statute provides parameters, blah, 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 blah. It's another case of cops investigating themselves and getting away with absolute murder. Absolute murder. Put a 1 in the chat. That was murder. Put a 1 in the chat. All right, slide on over, Dick. Bring him in. Everybody, do me a favor. Come on in. Watch your feet, Dick. Everybody, do me a favor. Welcome Mr. Dick Heller from Heller versus District of Columbia to the podcast. What's going on, buddy?
Well, we're about to go live very soon. We're drumming up knowledgeable people that want to learn more about their Second Amendment rights so they can defend their homes against any kind of criminal invasion. We did everything we've accomplished without violence. We did everything through the courts. We did everything through lawful means. And we've accomplished a lot by going all the way to the Supreme Court over a period of time to defend every legal citizen's, law-abiding citizen's right to keep and bear arms, protect your home, your family, and of course yourself.
That's right. Show him, Dick.
This is...
There it is. Right to the camera. See the dot at the top of the computer?
Oh, yeah, okay.
There it is, right there.
There we go. This is the Heller gun that you can find on HellerGunDude.com. And we have T-shirts. We have paperweights.
Got it. Go ahead.
We have hoodies like I have on right here. Let's see how I can do
it's
this.
okay. I got it. I'll show it to him.
I love this part right here, especially.
Yep. It says Heller on it. That's right. So this is the Heller Gun Dude keychain. You can go to HellerGunDude.com. We got the keychains out right now. We got the hoodies, the T-shirts, and the sweatshirts coming out. Dick and I are partners on this. A large portion of the profits that we make go right into a nonprofit organization where we help people. Dick has his own nonprofit called the Heller Foundation, and I have a nonprofit called We Support People. And a large proceeds of any profit that we make goes directly into our nonprofit and our trust foundations so that we can help people. If you want to support the Second Amendment and you want to support Dick Heller, go to HellerGunDude.com, pick up your keychain. We have a paperweight, we got T-shirts, and we got hoodies. So Dick, tell me a little bit. So people have heard, if you haven't heard of Heller 1, let me explain it to you. In 2006, Dick Heller became a police officer specifically because Washington, D.C. had passed an ordinance that said that you couldn't have a pistol in your home. It was the beginning of sweeping pistol legislation around the country.
And I was a cop.
And he was a cop. I'm sitting next to an ex-cop. This is the reason why you don't want to kill these people. You don't want to kill cops. Dick is no longer a police officer. And I only say that because Dick is with me.
I'm retired.
And he's retired. And Dick watches these videos with me and he screams and yells with me. Why is he entering his home without a warrant? I mean, how mad were you when you saw this earlier?
It falls under the category of corruption, my number 2 passion.
Yes.
To fight.
Yes. And so what we're doing together is we're showing how two people from different sides of the spectrum can come together in the name of our civil liberties, in the name of our constitutional rights. This is why I tell you, don't shoot and kill police. Dick was a cop, and we wouldn't be the friends we are today if I was saying, oh, you should go out and take. No, you should not do that.
Collect evidence and handle it civilly in the court system, and you can win.
You can win. So now in 2006, when Dick went down, did you file for a permit for your handgun in 2006?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So Dick went down to Washington, D.C. to the permit office and filed for a handgun for his home. And when he did that and they denied it, it gave him what's called standing. So Dick Heller you went to the state court first, right? Or no, I'm sorry. Was it Maryland or was it district court first?
Well, D.C. is not a state, so it's just called the district court.
So you went to district court.
And Judge Urbina said Heller has been denied his right for Second Amendment. He did everything available to him. He exhausted all administrative remedies because he had gone down and tried to file and do it the right way. Heller was denied his Second Amendment right. He exhausted all administrative remedies. Therefore, Heller has standing, and the case proceeded on into the federal system.
That's right. So he went to circuit court, and circuit court, he won, and he got the right to go against the ordinance of Washington, D.C., and he was allowed to take a pistol home. Well, the the District of Columbia then appealed for certiorari to the Supreme Court. And when it got to the Supreme Court, Dick was prevalent again, and he won. And that meant all states all over the country then began to lose their right to ban pistols in your house. Is that right?
That was the start of it. They had to go through something called McDonald versus the city of Chicago to show that gun rights were authorized by the were recognized by the Supreme Court everywhere outside of DC. And it was called, the Second Amendment is incorporated in the whole of the country, all states and territories.
What year was that? 13?
That was 2012.
2012. That's right. 2012. So if you don't understand exactly what that means is that if your Second Amendment right wasn't incorporated into your state, that the federal right to keep and bear arms wasn't incorporated into state rights all the way until the year 2012.
With federal force. You see, some states had constitutional carry where you need no paperwork to own a gun. You didn't need permission from government to exercise your Second Amendment rights to own a firearm. But McDonald made it very clear every law-abiding and lawful citizen had the right to keep and bear arms, own a handgun, as well as any kind of long gun.
That's right. So it's similar to what the 13th Amendment did in 1865. Different states had abolished slavery, but federally it wasn't enforced. Different states could have their state rights. And that's why you heard Nikki Haley say how, it was a states' right issue, the reason why we went to a civil war. No, we went to a civil war because of slavery. And what happened was then when Abraham Lincoln wrote his Emancipation Proclamation in 1862, the 13th Amendment's going to be passed in 1865, and then it became incorporated into all the states where slavery would be abolished.
Indeed. And then that began the source of all gun bans. We don't want those free men having firearms. They shoot back.
Now, Dick, you're a MAGA guy. You're voting for Trump, right?
Certainly.
Okay. So I hate Trump. I can't stand Trump, right? I want to show you something here though, right? So now you're a MAGA guy, you're voting for Trump, but you're still for our civil liberties and our rights.
Oh my God. That's foundational to our survival, our existence, our right to life.
That's right. That's right. So I want to show you guys something. I hate Trump. I think he's a criminal. I think he's a scumbag. I think he's a pig. I hate Trump. I hate cops.
We're still buddies.
You don't have to hate your neighbor or someone who's going to vote for Trump or Biden or Kennedy. You don't have to hate each other. We still agree that we deserve our civil liberties and our civil rights. We still have the same ideologies. Now, Dick doesn't call them pigs. He calls them police officers.
Only the bad ones. Only the bad ones are called pigs. And even I don't do that. I just call him a rotten officer. I've said to a cop before, when I was in uniform, I was doing nothing wrong. A cop thought I was driving. And I said, "Sir, you're a disgrace to your uniform." And he said, "Get back in that car right now. No violence." I said, "Yes, sir."
I would have told him to eat my shorts and that I have every right to stand outside my car. Detainment for Terry policy doesn't mean you get to tell me I have to stay in the car. Detainment means I can't leave, and I agree to stay right here.
It eliminated the violence. All I got was a $35 ticket. Okay. I didn't have to face gunfire. I didn't have to shoot back. I didn't have to hide behind my car, jump in a foxhole. Okay. I just got in the car, avoided violence, took my $35 ticket, and went down and complained about it in court.
Right.
Life is simple.
That's right. So right now, Dick Heller's channel, Heller Gun Dude, is open, and we shot the first 10 videos with him today. How'd you do?
I think it needs a redo. I don't think you're ever as good as you want to be, as hard as you try.
Hey, I just saw a comment here. Let me help you out with something. You said, a white man. Let me tell you something, brother. We wouldn't be free if we didn't work together.
My gun trainer is black as coal and as conservative as can be. And we chest bump like brothers whenever we happen to meet.
Don't let them divide us by race. We're all in this together. Don't let them say, white man, black man. Black supremacy is as disgusting as white supremacy. We cannot be divided by race or who you vote for or what your favorite color is or if your eyes are slanted, if your eyes are round. We cannot let them divide us by if you love dogs or hate dogs, if you like Trump or hate Trump, speaking of dogs.
Certainly. It's not about color. It's about character. Look at my friends. you'll see that what I'm saying is true.
It's absolutely true. So HellerGunDude.com is up. You guys can pre-order right now the Heller Gun Dude keychain. And can I just tell them what we're doing with the money?
Sure.
Okay. So what Dick and I have done.
Patriots.
Let's go ahead.
We're supporting patriots like people that have suffered in the video you just saw, because those rotten cops, corrupt cops, arrogant thug cops, not myself, those guys you saw in the video, they need to be challenged. Okay. They need to lose their authority to shoot people, invade homes without a warrant. And you saw the results. It is just senseless.
How disgusting was that?
There's no words when you take a life.
It's not worth killing each other over, and it's not worth dividing each other over. But
yeah, I have a phrase I like to
hold
use.
that 1 second, Dick.
Once again, it's Tarzan and their male ego. There's just no place for it.
Yeah,
it's the male ego that has to be satiated. And I've heard it said that the police line is a good way to do it, but there's no place for that, because we have a constitution that allows us to protect ourselves, and protects ourselves with a Fourth Amendment. Eighth Amendment is undue punishment, imprisonment, and when you murder somebody, a murder by cop, that violates the Eighth Amendment. Undue, what's it called? Undue
seizure.
No, Eighth Amendment is undue punishment.
Oh, cruel and unusual punishment.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Let me get more specific with what we're doing with the money. We have actually pinpointed lawyers all over the country. We've already spoken to those attorneys, and we're putting them on retainer. The money that we make from Heller Gun Dude is going to fund freedom fighters who have a bar card all over the country. I'm not going to give the list of the lawyers just yet. It'll come out on the website, HellerGunDude.com. And that's what we're doing. We've already contacted a half a dozen attorneys who we have set up to put on retainer every month so that they can focus on fighting for our first, our second, our fourth, our fifth, our eighth, our 10th, our 14th, our 15th Amendment. Well, 15th Amendment is the voting, but we still have to fight for it. So that's what we're doing. And we partnered, a little over a month ago?
That's when we basically bumped into each other, yes.
Yeah, and that was
serendipity. There is a gun God. There is a freedom God. There is a righteousness God.
Yeah, that's right. Michael Eline was the one who introduced us. And then I went down and I met with an attorney in San Diego who's one of the top Second Amendment attorneys in the country. I told him what our plan was that Dick and I had devised. He's all in on it. Then I called a lawyer up in Michigan. I said, hey, would you be interested? He's all in on it. Then I called a lawyer in Nevada. I said, are you interested? He said, I'm all in on it. I called a lawyer in Texas. So we've established that there's a group of men and women who are attorneys that want to fight for our constitutional rights. How many people in here have ever been looking for an attorney and you can't find an attorney because there's nobody who will help you? And so that's what Dick and I have done. And hold this 1 second, Dick.
Certainly.
So just like we do, now you can get the Heller Gun Dude hoodie with the Heller Gun Dude on the side of it. We're branding Dick Heller because he is a national treasure. There's the back of the Heller Gun Dude hoodie right there. I'm sorry. You got to talk for me. They can't hear me.
Heller Gun Dude hoodie. Yes. And there's the front. I love that logo. Did you notice in the front, there's a bullet zinging through it? That's what it's for. Bullets to protect your life with, using your firearm, applying your Second Amendment.
There it is right there.
There's the front.
Yeah. And this has been something that Dick and I have been working on since we met each other. When was the SHOT Show? What was the date of that SHOT Show?
Oh, it was about wasn't that July, June, February?
Was it
first part of February?
Was it the first part of February?
Or last part of January? I forgot. Maybe January 20th. So it's about 1 month.
Yeah. We've been working on this for about 1 month, and we have some patriots who have jumped in and they have helped us, and now we have devised these little keychains that you can carry. And the reason why it says Heller on the side of the keychain is because we want to start a conversation. We want you to start a conversation with your friends and family and explain to them that Dick Heller is the reason why we have the right to have pistols today. I mean, I'm not overstating this. I'm literally telling you the God's honest truth that without Dick Heller, we would not have a Second Amendment. They were encroaching on it dramatically. And so just so you know, when I met Dick Heller, our phrase is, we don't stop. We don't stop. I sat down, I interviewed this man for an hour and a half, and then I asked him, I said, so you did Heller in 2008. I said, what's after that? Go ahead, tell him what's after that.
Well, then came Heller 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And right now I'm working on Heller 10.
And it's the year 2024. We don't stop. When I met another man who refused to stop fighting for our rights, I said, are you branded, sir? And he said, what do you mean? I said, has anybody branded you? Has anybody made it so that your name is the brand? And he said, no. And I said, well, that's my specialty. So we began a little over a month ago, and all we've been doing since then is talking on the phone every day, collaborating every day. He was just sick for the last week, and then he got better. And I came and I've been working with him constantly on getting his camera presentation down. I hope everybody goes over to Heller Gun Dude on YouTube. Hold this, I'm gonna pull it up. Let me pull it up for them. The website is now live. You can pre-order your. Let me see this right here. There it is. Okay. Here it is. We have this live right now. Support the Second Amendment right here. We have it ready to go. This is about Dick Heller. His website's there's that. Now, this was the first prototype gun that we built. Obviously, this is not the one I'm showing you today.
It's a little rough.
That's a little rough. You can donate to this. We don't even have the hoodies up there yet. We have the t-shirt. We have the hoodie, the t-shirt, and the paperweight. Oh, Dick, tell them a little bit about the paperweight that we have coming out.
Well, it's an AR. It's about 8 inches long. It is beautiful, and it has the big brand name Heller written across it. So anyone that has it on their desk is going to say, oh, yeah, I'm not going to let that case Heller get out of my mind. I'm going to support Heller. I'm going to support our patriots. There's a lot of people that are being attacked needlessly, and they need our support. And
right.
What we do is we find the lawyers. And what motivated me, can I tell them about Cho?
Go ahead.
The one thing that really made me mad and said, I'm a senior citizen, but I have to keep rolling because I heard this story. I got a call from a journalist in Taiwan. It said, Rich, I have a friend in Massachusetts who's in trouble. Could you call him and talk to him? Well, in 2013, the Epic Times did a story on Mr. Yu. His last name is Cho, C-H-A-O, Chow. And what I found out in this newspaper article, so it's the God's truth, is that he had helped New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Legacy Media break through the Chinese firewall before it even had a name. Chinese firewall. And of course, being in China where they watch everybody do everything, he got caught. His penalty was 10 years in a Chinese torture prison. And I just threw his wife in for 10 years also for good measure, for no particular reason, because that's what tyrants and thugs do. So when his prison term was up, they were happy to let him out of the country and send him to America. And he came here legally on a persecution visa, went to Wisconsin, where gun laws are almost non-existent, and legally was able to buy an AR-15, a 30-round standard capacity magazine. And eventually, for some reason, his career took him to, guess where?
Massachusetts. When I went to Massachusetts and I went up there, I had my guns on me. And then I found out that when I crossed the border into Massachusetts, I turned into a criminal.
Yes, and there was a case called Donnell versus Massachusetts that was decided in August of just last year. It's a case study worth studying for people that are in trouble for possessing an AR-15. But the point is that Mr. Cho was pranked with a red flag. And the FBI went in, called in the local police, of course, and everything was good until they found his AR. And they said, oops, what do we have here? You're in Massachusetts and you have an AR. And the bottom line is he was able to make bail, but he is now awaiting the 26th of February, just a couple of days away. He has a decision to make. We have him the best lawyers we could find. We think we're still looking for more. He has a decision to make. And how would you like to make this decision just for owning a long gun in the wrong state? He has to choose between 18 months
in a federal prison.
If he pleads guilty. If he doesn't plead guilty and he wants to fight this case, his potential sentence is 10 more years in a federal prison in the land of the free and the home of the brave after escaping communism. That ain't right. And we all know it.
That's not right.
That ain't right.
That's not right at all. And let me tell him another one, Dick. So then additionally, Dick was also contacted by a woman. What's her name in Texas?
Oh, Angeli Gomez.
So Angeli Gomez was the woman who went to Uvalde to
follow me. I'm going in.
That's right. That she went to Uvalde to go get her kids out of the school where the cops were all staged outside because for officer safety, they couldn't go in. And so Ms. Gomez went to go in and the cops grabbed her, put her in torture cuffs, belly down. Then they left her because they were all confused because they were beta males. And then she slipped the cuffs, jumped the fence, went in, grabbed her kids and a couple others and ran out of the Uvalde school where the kids were being murdered. What happened after that?
Saved at least 4 kids. And when she went public on legacy media, the police, I think I would have to call them corrupt police, didn't like that and started harassing her, parking their cop cars down at the end of her street and flashing the lights just to let them know that she better be careful and maybe she shouldn't go out at night. It was total harassment. And I think for that, some people should be held financially accountable.
Yeah. Well, and so what's her, Elaine was her first name?
No, Angeli
Gomez.
Yes. Her give, send, go is Angel Gomez.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to raise the funds and we're going to sue those pigs for now. He didn't finish the story. So after she jumped the fence and then you tell what happened. Tell what the cops did after that, Dick.
Yeah, I just did.
They went and stripped her kids away.
Oh my gosh, I left that part out because she worked in an onion patch or an onion farm, which, she wasn't very, she wasn't living the dream life America. The Child Protective Services came and said, oh, I think it was a garage. She said she was living in a garage and they said, you don't have any curtains and you don't have a kitchen and we're taking your kids. So interestingly, she said since then, her uncle gave her $200 so she could buy curtains for the garage they were living in. It just makes no sense. Why would you come and split up a happy family and take their kids? She's lucky she didn't get shot in the process. You know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so Dick, when we were in Las Vegas and he said to me, hey, Chille, can we do anything about this? Can we go and talk to the cops or talk to CPS?
Help her.
Can we help her out in any way? And I said, Dick, confronting authority is my specialty. I would be more than willing. So Dick and I decided that we're gonna start Heller Gun Dude, hellergundude.com. Please get your hoodie, your t-shirt, pre-order your keychain, pre-order your paperweight with the AR-15 on it. And so he has a hat that says Make America Free Again. We're also going to start making these hats, but it wasn't on the agenda until we got together this weekend. And so I'll get those hats done in the next week or two, and you guys will be able to get a hat as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Uvalde, Texas, and we're going to get a lawyer, and we're going to sue everybody who took her children. Every single person who had a hand in taking her children. If you cops wrote a police report in an effort to try to take her children, we're going to sue every single one of them. And we're going to try to hold them accountable. And boy, it's going to be a scene.
Do we show our hand like that?
What's that?
Do we show our hand like that?
Oh, they can know we're coming, baby. They can know. You pigs can know we're coming. We're coming.
We keep everything close to our chest so that when we file our complaint, it's a surprise.
Oh yeah,
we do it differently.
Yeah, today's world is media. Media is the way to set you free. Hold this. Let me pull up your YouTube real quick. Go ahead, Dick.
So this is going to be a day. We hope it's going to be a day of reckoning. That's what I'm expecting. You can't take someone's kids just because. And that, to me, that's the motivation. We don't like it. We stick up our nose, and it's just because we're tyrants and we have that authority. And in my speech, I like to say, where do they get that authority? It's because we can. And then it takes citizens $1 million in fighting back just to get what's yours that should not have been taken in the first place. Your door being kicked in, your house being ransacked, your kids being taken, told you're not good enough. It's just disgusting. We have a constitution. It's the foundation. It's our rules. Those are the rules we live by, and the rules apply to everyone.
Oh, so right now, what Mr. Heller, I'm sorry, the gun dude. He doesn't like to be called Mr. Heller.
That's my father.
Yeah, that's his. He likes to be called the gun dude. He doesn't like to be called Mr. Heller. Every time I say Mr. Heller, because I show respect, he says, "It's gun dude, please."
Oh, my father's not here. My dad's not.
I mean, you still got 40 more years, right?
On target.
On target. And Dick is sharp as a tack. You have no idea how sharp this man actually is. He is. I mean, you should see when we take Uber's places. He's telling the driver how to go there. He's saying, no, go up here, take a left, and then take a right on Second. He's explaining them how completely just fast as a laser whip. And so I showed the website right here. Here is the YouTube page.
I hope my wife listens to this.
Oh, she will.
Here you say I'm sharp as a whip.
Oh, you're sharp as a whip. Here's Heller Gun Dude YouTube page. We have videos coming out on Heller Gun Dude YouTube page starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, Heller Gun Dude. I'm dropping the link down in the chat right here. I apologize if we were going too fast today. As you guys know, Team DLZ is one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube right now. But I want you to do me a favor. I want to make Dick Heller's channel one of the fastest growing YouTube channels on all of YouTube. So I need you guys to share it. Share the website, Heller Gun Dude. I want to make sure that we support this man. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. He won't stop. I asked him today, I said, "Hey man, can you keep up with me?" And he said, "Can I keep up with you? I can keep up with you, young man, anytime." I mean,
I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid.
He said, "I'm just a kid still, and I can keep up with you." So what we need you to do right now is I need you to go to HellerGunDude.com and pre-order your Heller Gun Dude keychain. We're not putting any chains on them. That's up to you. Whatever chain you want to put on them, it's perfectly fine. We're going to have red, blue, purple, gray, transparent red is really, really cool. We're going to have all of these. The paperweight guns is really, really cool. It's Heller versus DC versus Heller because they're the ones who filed for certiorari.
They did.
That's right. After Dick Heller won the case at the circuit court, then the District of Columbia filed for certiorari, and that's District of Columbia versus Heller 2008, HELLER. So let me ask you guys a question. I was just curious. How many of you guys would get a hat if we had a hat? Because we did hoodies, we did t-shirts, but we didn't do any hats. And when I got here, he said, "We got to get a hat."
This is unique. This is my own invention. I patterned it after Make America Free Again, Make America Great Again. We need freedom. Then we will be great. It's automatic. If you have economic freedom, you have greatness. It's A plus B is C.
So what Dick is really upset about right now, what the gun dude's really mad about right now, is that the Tenney versus Brandoff case of 1951, where legislatures, judges, prosecutors have qualified immunity and they're not held accountable. What were you saying at dinner tonight? That,
oh my God, they put up a dam. I call it a dike, and I go back to the image of the young Holland child with his finger in the dike. What we have to do is that dike for us in America represent the legislative immunities, police immunities, teacher immunities, all the level of immunities that the tyrants have put up between themselves to protect themselves from us and try to take our guns in the process so they would never be harmed. We need to find a way, if there's a dike there of legislation and there's a hole in the dike, we need to figure out how to make that hole bigger, climb through that dike and grab legislators and people that are illegally exercising their legislative authority, grab them by the throat so that they can be forced to pay financially for the things they've done wrong, the people they've harmed.
he's not a shrinking violet. Do you see why this guy and I get along like bread and butter? Because he watched my arrest last week of me being arrested. And he was like, "How can they arrest you just for filming them? You were outside
walking down the street outside the crime scene." Oh,
it just does. You know, when you're a freedom fighter,
no words.
Go ahead.
There's no words for it. It's just irrational.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that I've been arrested.
Incomprehensible.
incomprehensible that I've been arrested. I've been arrested twice in 2 years in Las Vegas, and my only crime was pointing a camera at those coppers. And so I'm really excited for what Dick and I are doing. And to the attorneys out there who are definitely watching right now, we're going to have you guys on retainer real soon. We're going to try to get as many products as we possibly can out into the public. And we want you to talk about it. We want you to talk about Heller versus District of Columbia. That's why it's on your keychain. It goes right on your keychain. We want you to talk about Dick Heller and what he has done.
Hopefully you'll dangle your keys around and it'll be a good conversation starter for people that are anti-gun. They say, ew, what is that? And say, oh, well, hey, this is your right to defend yourself. And it started back in 2008 and come up with a story that you've researched and you understand in a few words so you can explain it.
That's right. And so, you know, I want to, there's a friend of mine, an old friend of mine named Drew B. Drew, the letter B. When I had been in Hollywood for a few years and I had been influenced heavily by the left. I used to be on the left, and I was influenced heavily on the left. What's that?
I voted for Jimmy Carter.
and so my friend Drew B, you know, he's the one that turned my head in 2005 or 2006 and said, Chille, there's no way you can be the studier you are from you being no-knock rated and researching all this constitutional law, and then you could be against our gun rights. I wasn't against our gun rights. I just thought, what do they say? Sensible gun legislation.
Yeah, don't you pack?
Yes.
Yeah, how can you be how can someone think you're anti-gun when you pack?
Well, when 2005, after 3 years after I'd been no-knock rated, I thought that the words sensible gun legislation made a lot of sense. Sensible gun legislation.
Yeah, sensible, take your guns.
Yeah.
How sensible can you be?
Yeah. Sensibly sign up for a registry. Sensibly sign up and tell them where your address is. Sensibly tell them who has the guns and where, right?
Oh, yeah. I like telling my story. When I bought my first gun, I live in Washington, D.C. on the Hill, and to buy a gun, I had to go to America. So today it would be an absolute crime to carry a gun across something called the state line. But back then, we didn't have any gun stores. It was the district didn't like guns in the city, and they had the highest murder rate. They were called the murder capital of America at the time. So I said, I was out of the, I was a paratrooper. I was out for about at least 5 or 6, 7 years, maybe. I said, I should have a gun like Gunsmoke, Matt Dillon, my hero. So I drove to America, bought a gun, and drove back home with it because there was no such thing as frontiers in those days for Second Amendment. And 3 months later, the city said, well, we've just passed a gun ban. If you own a firearm, if you own a handgun, you need to throw it in the trash, turn it in, register it, or you could go to jail.
That's right.
And I said, I didn't like going to jail. Why would I don't want to throw it away? Why would they want me to register it? And I didn't know anything about politics. I didn't know anything about the Second Amendment. I said, I got to thinking about it. It took me about 3 or 4 days. The first day I said, well, why would they want me to register it? Duh. And the second day I figured, well, they want to know where I live. Well, why would they want to know where I live?
So they can come take you and take your guns.
So they can come and take my gun. And I said, it took me another day. I said, how can I respond to this? They want to take my gun if I register it. And I was very bright back then even. So I made a very intellectual decision. Ain't doing it. And that's what started the legal battle.
Yeah. And so tell them exactly why you became a cop and tell them a little bit about Dane.
Oh my gosh. My buddy Dane was a reader at law in Vietnam. And serendipity, there is a gun God. He put us together just like God put Chille and I together. And you want me to tell the story about the Olympic shooter and everything?
Yeah,
that's a long story. No,
okay,
just for right now.
Just go into when.
I got it.
Okay.
Dane said, I'm going to go to law school. I don't even want a degree. I just want to know how to build a case to protect our Second Amendment. And like a band of brothers, I continued his sentence by saying, and I'll become a cop. I'll have some sort of standing, whatever that means. I've got a gun and we can challenge them. They give me a gun, but they won't let me have a gun. I can protect them, but I can't protect me. my light bulb came on. We lived in a society, we were living in a society not unlike the old Soviet Union with a two-tiered society. I'm not sure much has changed today. Do you?
No.
Okay. Some people can get murdered, and the killers can get away with it. And so that's what there was the kernel of study and research that got us into the courts, building a network. Nobody wimps their way to the Supreme Court. You have to have a team. And what Chille and I want to do is we want to help the patriots that need it the most to build a team. So we can get them standing, and we can get the proper representation with the best Second Amendment constitutional lawyers that can be had in America. And there are a few good ones. I know most of them.
Oh yeah. And so, I'll give you a little bit of the cliff notes. So I'm 49 years old, and Dick was older than I am now. And when he moved to DC, he got a roommate named Dane, who was an Olympic shooter and also a doctor. Dane was brilliant. Dane has passed on since then. Brilliant. He was a brilliant guy who was a doctor and an Olympic shooter. They became roommates. And when Dane pulled up to the house, he had a trunk full of guns, handguns and all kinds of stuff. And Dick said, they're passing ordinances where you can't have guns in Washington, DC. And then Dane said, well, let's get these to the basement. So
he said, right. No. You've got to get him out of town. We'll go to jail. Right.
So they sat around, two dudes having a brew and saying, hey, how do we take this on? What are we going to do? They mulled on it for a little while. Dane comes bursting in the door one day and goes, listen, fudge this. I'm going to law school right now, and I'm going to challenge the Second Amendment ordinance that they're passing here in DC. And without skipping a beat, the gun dude said, then I'm going to become a cop, and then I'm going to get standing to be able to bring my pistol home. And so then he became a cop, got immediately assigned to the Supreme Court, to the Annex building, and was ushering Supreme Court justices back and forth. Of all the people who were challenging the Washington, D.C. ordinance that you couldn't have a pistol, he was the only one that went down to the city office and applied for a permit. And when they denied,
it did not go unnoticed that the plaintiff worked in the Supreme Court and was protecting the justices.
That's right. And so when he applied for a permit, and then the District of Columbia denied his permit, that's what gave him, the only person of 24 standing. He got standing to sue the District of Columbia. He did, and he won. And that's why we have a gun on the patch of this t-shirt now, and on the hoodie as well, because now we can have a gun because of Dick Heller. Because of, you guys don't understand what this guy has done. When Michael Eline, God bless you, Michael Eline, when he introduced me to this man, and I was, I studied Supreme.
Chille's going, what do we have here? I'm sure. Can I believe this?
Yeah, I absolutely could not believe it. And so
in front of me is this dude.
Hold this, I'll show him. Go ahead. Take over.
Oh, and then when I realized that the anti-corruption that he stood for, I said, oh my God, being a cop, one of the worst things in the world is a bad cop. Corruption, I couldn't get over it. It was amazing. So I have trouble adjusting my hat here online, obviously.
This was Heller and I think we did 3 dinners together over the SHOT Show. We did 3 different dinners where we sat down and talked for hours and hours on end and got to know one another. And I said, Dick, listen, we can create a brand for you that is going to really make some funding, but I don't care about that. I care about that. What are we going to do with the funding? What are you going to do with the money? And Dick said, we're just going to keep on funding freedom fighters. There's people all over this country who need help. And right now, with some of the proceeds of you buying a t-shirt, a hoodie, a paperweight, or a keychain, we're going to fund the attorneys for Chow in Massachusetts. We're going to fund the attorneys for Gomez in Texas. We have to hire attorneys because I have lost in federal court so many times because I'm pro per. I don't have an attorney, and they screw me over. And we're not just hiring any attorneys. We're hiring the most badass attorneys ever.
Yeah, but we talk to Chow every day.
Yeah. And is he on house arrest?
I'm not sure. We don't talk about that. We just talk about the quality of lawyers and what his schedule is. And we talk very briefly just to get the basic elements of what's needed.
That's right. And it requires money. Am I wrong?
Nobody knows how much it took to get to the Supreme Court for Heller case number 1. And if you said $1 million, you'd be very close. It was $1.2 million. And what I don't quite understand, it's one of those legal mysteries. Why did Heller 2 and 3 cost, surprise, $1.2 million? I can't figure that out.
I may have said pro persona, pro se. Pro se. So listen, I'm not an attorney. I don't speak great legalese. I'm a constitutional law scholar, understanding the foundation of our rights. I've had long lectures where I teach this stuff. So I'm not perfect. I apologize for saying the wrong thing.
I can tell your followers that I'm not a lawyer either, but Chille is such a constitutional lawyer. I've attended one of his impromptu lectures. I was blown away. I didn't realize how much I didn't know. Still to this day, I probably have about 5 times more to learn than I already have.
Well, I was just fortunate because when I had my wall set up of the history of the Supreme Court cases, what I did was I had Dick in the office and I was able to just break down the Supreme Court. And this reminds me. So Dick can attest to this. He's MAGA. He's Trump. He's on the right. He's going to vote for Trump. We don't agree. Trump's a piece of shit, but he's going to vote for him. That's fine. But are most all gun laws based on racism?
That's when they started. Right after the black men, freedmen were freed from slavery. Then all of a sudden you had the South was filled with what's called black laws.
Black codes.
Black codes.
That's right. That's right.
And they were designed to make firearms illegal for black people, freedmen, and also if there was not a legal reason, then they made it unaffordable with taxation process and licensing processes. My gosh, don't we still do that today in DC?
Yeah.
Licensing?
Yeah.
Taxes?
And the licensing process of the 1911 Sullivan Act out of New York City was passed specifically for what color people?
Wasn't white people.
And it wasn't just brown people. It was
freedmen, slavery.
Freedmen, black men. It was specifically passed so black guys couldn't have guns. The 1911 Sullivan Act is the template for almost every single state constitution that includes you have to have a permit for a gun. They copied the Sullivan Act in Massachusetts. They copied the Sullivan Act in New Jersey. The Sullivan Act, which is based on making sure blacks couldn't have guns, are the exact same thing you sign up for to get your gun permit today. I just wanted to show you that he's not Nikki Haley. He knows exactly why these gun laws were created, and it's absolutely preposterous on its face. So let me promote this one more time. I want everybody to get over here, get to Heller Gun Dude on his YouTube. Let me refresh this real quick and see where we're at. We're at 199 subscribers over here. And this is HellerGunDude.com, where you can support the Second Amendment by getting your keychain, getting a t-shirt, getting a hoodie, getting a paperweight. It's not on there yet. You can't donate just yet. We don't have the donation set up yet. And we're going to do our banking, I believe. Where'd you say that we should do the banking at?
Wells Fargo.
And why are we banking at Wells Fargo?
Well, I'm not sure they want to hear this, but when every other bank, major bank was blacklisting, or what was that word called? There was a phrase where they stopped, they froze accounts for anyone involved in activities that the federal government didn't like.
Anti-patriot?
It was something like choke.
I can't remember.
Choke point?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was some sort of choke point. I'm not as sharp as a tack. I forget some basic things.
Well, it's also almost 9:30 at night here in Washington, D.C. So
Operation Choke Point, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but we'll look it up as soon as we get off this live.
So anyway, Wells Fargo harkens all the way back to when I used to watch Lash LaRue movies for 6 cents. Maybe it was 6 cents for both myself and my brother. And Wells Fargo was in every Western movie I ever saw. And when I was 6 years old, I said, when I grow up, I'm going to be part of Wells Fargo. So now I'm one of their most avid clients. But the point is, they were pro-Western back then. They're still pro-Western today, pro-Second Amendment today. They're the only ones that didn't kick everybody's gun, kick everyone out of their account just because they had the Second Amendment issues or bought guns or had a checking account and was a gun owner.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going on with Derek Morris. I'll just stop for 1 second. Derek Morris is a member of Team DLZ. Derek, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you're going through some stuff. More than willing to reach out back to you and make sure that you're okay. I'm sorry that you're distraught. I'm really sorry that you're going through a hard time right now. Everybody, if you would please throw up a prayer for me for my friend Derek Morris. He's a good man, and he's going through some stuff right now. And then Gloria's promoting the gun dude over here. Thank you so much. All right, Dick, anything else you want to say to the people?
Support patriots, support the Second Amendment. Go to hellergundude.com, and you're not buying a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a paperweight, or a keychain gun. Okay. What you're doing is you're supporting a cause. You're supporting the Second Amendment and helping patriots in need out.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. And remember that my special for the next 24 hours is if you buy a trifold, I will give a trifold to someone who can't afford one. And I'm also going to give you guys a set of cop cards, a set of these Fifth Amendment cop cards. Whoever buys the trifold, I'm going to give you a set of cop cards, and then I'm going to give away a trifold to somebody who can't afford the $25 trifold where you invoke your Fifth Amendment right. And earlier I was talking to Dick and I said, I said, you're fighting for the Second Amendment. I'm fighting for these other amendments. And Dick said, oh no, Chille, I'm fighting for the first. I'm fighting for the second. I'm fighting for the fourth, the fifth, the eighth,
sixth,
all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Every one of them. Yes. And we don't stop. We do not stop, and we are not going to stop.
I don't know how to stop. It's what I do for sport.
I said to Dick, you mean you don't want to just go off fishing and retire? And he said, this is my sport. This is what I do. He's at Heller 10. When I met him and he told me, I said, so Heller 1, I said, what have you done since then? And he said, oh, you mean Heller 2 or Heller 3 or Heller 4 or Heller 5 or Heller 6 or Heller 7 or Heller 8 or Heller 9 or 2024 is Heller 10. I said, how can I support you, sir? In which way can I help you the most? You tell me how you need to be helped. And he said, Chille, we need to be able to have freedom fighters all over this country. And I said, I'm all in.
People understand the Constitution.
That's
their
right.
rights.
That's right.
You have the right to be left alone and not have your door kicked in because someone wants to play macho Tarzan, male ego. It makes no sense.
What do you think of that copper that ripped open that trailer park door and decided to have a gunfight?
Wasn't he sort of like an ape in the jungle is going to rip this branch off for no particular reason? Maybe he wants a leaf or something. I think that guy the cop was after some brownie points for just another random arrest.
Yeah. And the attorney, the one of the prosecuting attorneys said, give him a ticket, but don't arrest him. And then he just decided he was going to arrest that guy. It's like,
well, I didn't want to say it, but what you have there is the foundation for a lawsuit where he actually violated legal advice and legal authority. If she was in authority over him, he violated it. How did he get off from that? Murder.
I don't know. I mean, murder. And they said he illegally broke into the home, but he didn't didn't commit murder. I don't understand that at all.
You've said it all.
Okay. All right, listen, guys. It's late here in DC. We have had the gun dude and I have had a super long day. We did all of his filming today. We have more filming to do tomorrow. Go to hellergundude.com, get your keychain, your paperweight, your t-shirt, your hoodie. And then what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to start to release videos on Heller's channel and on my channel. We got to get this man to 1 million subscribers. He is an absolute national treasure. And thank you guys so much for being here with us tonight.
If I had a last word, I would say watching that video, it was painful.
Yeah. Especially because the citizens are going to violence and, you got everything done without a single bullet being fired.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
You'll live to see tomorrow.
You can't go to violence. It's not going to help our team. I know you're mad. I mean, listen to me. I'm mad. I know that you're mad. I understand that.
It's simple. When the cop says, put your hands behind your back, you go ahead and do it. You have your cameras, you have evidence, you'll have standing, and you can win. And that's what Chille and I are going to do. We're going to win some.
That's right. We're going to have the financing to be able to help you sue them if you got it on camera. Do not go to violence. Don't become that. Don't become them. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this so we can finance lawyers to help people who nobody's ever heard of. You never heard of Chow before. You never heard of Gomez before. None of you have ever heard of those people. And Dick found these people found Dick, and we're going to help them. And we're helping Chow now. We have the best attorneys we can possibly have for him in Massachusetts, but it costs money. And so we had to figure out a way to brand Mr. Heller, the gun dude, so that we could continue to make sure that we have people in place to fight for our freedoms. And that's the whole point of what we're doing here.
What's really great is I've gone through a lot to to accomplish what we have. But I've got Mr. Energy here, Mr. Energizer Bunny.
I mean, I tell you guys that I don't ever stop. If you don't believe me, you can ask Dick. I never will ever stop.
Yes, we did. 2:00 last night. We stopped.
Yeah, at 2:00 in the morning last night, we finally said we had better get to bed or we're not going to have a day. And then I slept till 10:30 or 11 o'clock. I was just exhausted. I was awake for 2 days straight. I'd been awake
I was afraid at 2:00 we'd get our second win and we wouldn't go to bed at all.
I mean, really, it has been such a pleasure working with this man. Do me a favor, you guys. I'm going to break this video into two because they're going to demonetize the video and put it in the cellar. So I'm going to take this video, cut it in half. The first half where we showed the murderous pig, and the second half, the introduction to Mr. Heller, to the gun dude. Sorry about that. And then, yeah. And then what we're going to do, Drophead 74 is here. Gloria's here. Can I get an OTVO in the comment section? Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Can you put it in the chat for me? Raihoot is in here. Mingo Wingo is in here. Manny is in here. Right over here, you see this? Lester is in here. Good Times is in here. I Am God is in here. Gloria is here. Thank you so much. Michael, in qualified immunity is here. It should say Overturn Terry versus Ohio, but that's okay. I support you anyway. Captain Blakebeard is fighting in the comments. He's fighting these pig suckers in the comments. He's an absolute warrior in the comments. Wait till you go read his comments. He's a big time fighter. Life Under is in here. Gabriel is in here. What is going on? Robert, how are you? Brandy is here. Thank you so much for coming. Mr. Bones is in here. Let's go OTVO. Brandy Swaney is in.
1,000 people in there. You can't address them all. It would be great if you could.
There was actually 1,400 people in here a few minutes ago. We're at half those numbers now. Now we're at 700 people, but we were at 1,400 people earlier. There's so many people attaching. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, share. It's unfortunate we have to say those things, but we have to get our message out. We got to get as many people as we possibly can.
Don't go to violence and bring your friends into the website, into the blog. Don't go to violence and show the keychain gun and bring your friends into the network.
Yes, absolutely. All right, listen, folks, I got to get the flock out of here. Chevy! Did I see Felicia in here earlier? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Are you going to step out?
It's been a pleasure, folks. Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you in a few. So there it is. Now you guys know the reason why I didn't go live yesterday is I was shooting content with the gun dude the entire day yesterday. Ms. Constitutional Rights is in here. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. I am absolutely spent. I have been going hard. I mean, hard for the last few days. I was awake 2 days straight at one point. So I'm just absolutely beat. You know, get a trifold in every car. Make sure you guys get a trifold. If you guys buy a trifold today, you can contact me. Give me someone's name and phone number that you want me to send a free one to. I don't have to give it to a random person in the crowd, but I do have to sell these so we can always make sure we have money. I'm not ashamed to say it at all. I'm running for governor. I'm going to ask you to give me your money. I feel no remorse about that at all whatsoever. These politicians are taking money from special interest groups that want to strip away your gun rights, strip away your First Amendment. They're being funded by Republicans, and Democrats are being funded by people who want to make laws that they have to blur the body camera of the face of the cops. Well, if we allow that to happen, then James Sheets, we never would have known they were saying, I'm hot, I'm hot. Don't say anything. I'm hot, I'm hot. I'm going to sue the state of Nevada for blurring out the face of the pigs on body camera. So I'm going to constantly ask you to give me your money. I need it. I need you to buy my products. I need you to share this stream. Wait till I cut this in half and then share the video with the gun dude. And we need to just keep going. We cannot stop under any circumstances. Under any circumstances or any conditions, we don't stop. I got to get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators. I think we did a great job, Dick.